Hello everyone, welcome to my recap of round number 8 from Najdorf Memorial 2024. You know this thing that I am playing in Warsaw, Poland, and today was the 8th round. Tomorrow will be the last round, that is the 9th round of the tournament, and the round is going to be in the morning time, so I need to sleep very soon. Right now it is 12:34 at night. I just finished my class, so now I'm going to record my video. I'm packaging the bag also. A lot of things to do because tomorrow only I need to, after the round, I need to go to the other place to play in my second tournament. My second tournament is going to start in just one day from 18th, means from 18th it is going to start in Suwalki, and that will also be a very strong tournament. So coming back to the game today, I was playing against one candidate master, Sans Victoriano, and he is a very experienced player who was playing very good in the tournament, and against me also he played very good. So he was white and I was black. So before the game I checked out his games. So he plays d4, that I knew. So he started with d4. I was black in this position. I played knight of 6, c4, and now I felt that today I want to do something new because yesterday I lost the game. So I wanted to change something and I wanted to play faster also, as I told you yesterday that I want to overcome my slow time pressure thing. So in order to play something new, I played e6, which is not completely new for me. I have played e6 in the past also. He played knight c3 and I played bishop b4, Nimzo Indian defense, and he played queen to c2 quite fast, you can say. He's a very principled player, and he is you can say has a very good classical background also. He is old, he's 1974 born, I think so. So almost 50 years old. So I thought for a while, and I went for the castle. Today I had decided that no matter what happens, I'm going to play faster. So he played knight of 3 and I quickly played c5 in this position. So after c5 means, okay, I was a little bit in confusion, should I play d5 or not, because if I play d5 he might capture, and then he play bishop g5, then again I have to come back, or maybe I need to play some other variation. So I was little hesitant to play this variation, which will be like QGD. So I said, like, I don't want to play QGD, I am going to play Nimzo Indian. So I played c5 and he immediately captured here. And I remembered one of my games which I played from the white side, and my opponent played knight a6, and I really liked that idea of knight a6 because the knight is going to come on c5, followed by knight will be coming on e4 square. So he played a3 immediately. I captured on c3, he captured back. I played knight captures on c5. And although b4 was one of the moves in the position where I will be going to e4 square, followed by I'll play d5, which is also similar happened in the game also. He played knight d2, maybe to cover the e4 square, you can say. And here in a little bit hurry, I played d5, which was not actually necessary in the position. I should have I saw that b4 is going to come, and I saw that I cannot really stop it. Even if I play a5, he can play b4, and sorry, after this capture on b4, although it is interesting, my knight will go to e4 square for sure. So I thought, like, anyhow I'm not going to stop b4, so why to play a5? So that's why I played d5 quite quickly. As I said, he played e3, he did not capture. I was considering he might capture, and then I will play knight e4, and if he captures, then queen will attack this thing, and ad5, my pawn will be isolated, and I was ready to play that, because then I will play bishop e6, rook will come to c8 square at some point, a6 will be played, and then, well, as long as my knight is well placed in the center of the board, I don't need to worry. And the idea of playing b3 or b4 followed by bishop b2 is always there from his side. Okay, after knight d2, I played d5, as I said, and after b6, he did not capture. He played b4. I played knight e4 in this position, and he quickly captured that also, and he played queen d4, which was important, because if he doesn't do that thing, I was ready to play dc4, and I have some options also here. And so, and he wants to keep the queen on this diagonal so that he can attack the pawn on g7, which will lead to a checkmate, you can say. So I developed my piece, bishop to b7. He quickly threatened checkmate on g7, so I stopped it with f6 move. And after I stopped it, he brought he captured on d5. Here I was thinking about queen exchanges, to be honest, but then I thought, like, okay, I don't want to exchange the queens right now. Let's keep the queens on the board and see what happens. Although it is very symmetrical pawn structure is there, 4 versus 4-2 versus 4-2. So I thought like the position should be equal. So here in this position he brought the rook on d1 square. I thought like, okay, he's going to do something about this pain, so I played queen e7, and with queen e7 my threat is to play rook d8 or this rook d8. Rook to c8 is also one of the things. So I wanted to bring my pieces, you can say my rooks in the game before he castles. So here he played f3, which I had seen earlier, and now I played a good move. Means I was really confused in this position whether to play rook d8 or means rook f d8 or rook a d8. Finally I decided to play rook a d8, which is the same. And here in this position, if he captures, the problem is bishop b3, and now I'm going to get the queen or the rook, you can say. He might just give up the queen, sorry, rook captures d4, and then this might be possible, but I thought like I should be better, no problem for me. So he stopped that thing. Okay, he did not capture my knight, he was smart. He played bishop to e2. Now if I go for this thing, the knight on e4 is hanging. So I thought for a while to move my knight, but I was not understanding where to move it. Should I play knight to d6? Then I was thinking like he will play e4, then I have to move my bishop, and like this I was thinking like maybe this rook c1 and so on. Like if he plays queen e3 is always there. So that was one of the ideas. And if I play knight to g5, then I was thinking like he might play queen h4. Even if I play bishop to b3 in this position, he won't exchange. He'll play rook to c1, and once he covers the d2 square with bishop c3, then he will go for the castle. And my knight on g5, I was not understanding whether it is well placed or how is it. So finally I decided, okay, let's kick the queen away. I played e5. I just needed to think about one variation, that what if he captures my rook and the bishop here in this position, sacrifices the queen. But I saw that I can play knight d6 followed by knight to f5, putting some pressure, and maybe I will also go for the exchange of one pair of rook. If I exchange the rooks, then rook and bishop will be there from his side. His bishop on b2 is not that much active, and I feel like that should be about equal, and if he makes any mistake or something, I might get some more chances. But he did not go for exchange, sacrificing the queen. He simply played queen to d3. Okay, so queen is saved now, no problem for him. I need to save my knight, so I saved it on g5. That was the only square for my knight. And then he played queen b1, getting away from all the threats here, because I was threatening bishop into f3. So he went away. I said like, okay, I'll also go back. And the point of playing bishop f7 was that if I need, I can play bishop to g6, or if I need my knight in the game back, so I can play knight e6, and maybe I can bring it back. Like let's suppose e4 is played, then I can bring the knight over here. So I thought like it's a very comfortable position for me. Knight should come to e6 square. So I played bishop to f7. After bishop f7 he castled, and now I felt, okay, I felt that I made a mistake. I played a5 in this position quite quickly, and as I was telling you earlier also, today my aim was not to come in any kind of time pressure. So I was playing quite fast, and at this position I was having, I think 46 or 50 minutes, 46 47 minutes. So I was happy with my management of the time. I played a5, and then he played bishop to c3. Now suddenly, I don't know why, but I was feeling like I am in a very bad situation. I shouldn't have played a5. I was cursing myself and all, and that lasted for 5 minutes or something. I was just talking bad things to me, and then suddenly I said like, okay, enough. Like what's the point of just telling like I made a mistake, this and that, why did I play so fast, so many things I was telling myself. Then I said like, calm down, let's see what can I do. And then I was thinking about the position, and I said like, okay, I need to support my pawn on e5. The only way to support the pawn on a5, sorry, is to play queen c7 in this position. That is what I was thinking. Another move which I was thinking, like playing rook to c8 and attack the bishop. And for that I saw that he might play rook to c1. Although another variation which I was thinking was to play a4 also, but I was kind of afraid of play bishop coming to b5 square, but then bishop b3 was there. So maybe a4 was also one of the possibilities, or I can just play this and then play a4 with the idea of bishop b3. Means like if he attacks, then bishop a3 or bishop c4 is also there. I can just simply capture here, and I don't need to worry. My knight will definitely come back here, or maybe here on here. So it should be fine position for me. So after all these things, I settled down. I said like calmly, let's play queen c7. And here in this position he played quite amazing, like with the moves which I was not even thinking. He went for the exchanges. Okay, he played rook d8 and rook d1. He's offering me exchange. His bishop is under attack, but I cannot capture. because if I capture here, it's quite easy, like he will just capture my rook for free. And if I capture on d1 and then think that oh, I can capture the bishop here, that will also be a blunder, because I will be getting checkmated. Queen check, bishop is the only, bishop e8 is the only move, and then after queen captures e8 is a check and mate, so I cannot really go for that thing. So here in this position I saw like, okay, let's exchange the bishops. So I played bishop c4, and here in this position I was expecting him to maybe capture here, queen capture c4, and then you know he can capture on a5, but after b captures a5, c3 is hanging, and even if he tries to run away, then I have queen captures and then queen captures. I thought like I will survive, but to my surprise in this position, he did not capture on c4, he immediately captured on a5. Okay, directly, not immediately, he thought for a while and he captured on a5. And before capturing on a5, he was thinking for let's say 15-20 minutes. So I was quite sure that he's going to capture on a5. So I was also calculating while he was calculating after ba5 what to do, and all my fears and everything went away when I was calculating, because I was not thinking about the results anymore. So when you don't think about the results, if you just think about the variation, then all your negative thoughts will go away. So that is something which you should also try to do. If you are having a lot of negative thoughts about your past move or something, you should just try to think about the position, what can you do the best in the current position, and all those thoughts will just come and go. Don't fight with your thoughts. Means my wife Lucia also tells me this thing, like if I'm going through some kind of thoughts which are not good for me or something, she says this thing to me, that don't fight with your thought, don't try to control them, just observe them and let it pass, just like the passing weather, you can say. So I captured on e2, queen captures e2, then queen captures c3. I got the piece. Although the point was like after ab6 I was confused earlier, but then in my calculation, as my opponent was also thinking for 20 minutes or so, I also thought about and I found the move queen b3 earlier only. So I played that move very confidently, queen b3, because now all the checks and everything is gone and he has to play queen to a6. That is the only move to save the pawn. But the problem with that move is like I will be getting the pawn on e3. Earlier I thought that I'm just going to do the draw. Okay, so I was giving the checks mindlessly, and check, king f2. I was having a lot of time, I was having more than 40 minutes, you can say. So I was just giving checks, and while giving the checks I felt like, okay, it's a draw or something. But then suddenly I thought about the position, that can't I just try to do something else instead of just going for a draw, because my opponent was very happy to just moving the king, and he also thought like it should be a draw. And then I suddenly realized that instead of just giving the checks, by the way, he can play king g3 in this position, and I was going to play queen c1 anyhow to go for this check. If he plays b7 in this position, then that will lead to a checkmate, because after queen f4 here, knight is jumping in the game. And now no matter what he does, if he plays this thing, this check here, and it's a mate, and if he goes behind in this position, still it is going to be a checkmate, because check here, and queen f2 is a checkmate. So he cannot really come there and play b7. Means after this maybe he needs to create a square, and if he gives this check, king will go to f2, knight e4 check, and then king g1 and king h2, and means I can just go for the draw, check, draw can be done. So I don't need to worry. And if any position, if he tries to come here, I can simply capture the queens, and the resulting endgame, I think it is just winning for me, which happened in the game also. So king g3 was also possible, but I was ready with queen c1. Okay, anyway, so he played king f1, and then as I was going to play queen c1, I stopped for a while and I said like, okay, why not play queen c6 and stop the pawn's push? The queen can also not go anywhere, and if I can get my knight to d4 or f4 square, then the checkmate which I just saw came to my mind. So I played queen c6, he played queen a7, trying to push the pawn forward, and then I played queen c6 was actually very good move. It is stopping all the important checks. So I played in this position first, gave a check. So he played king f2, queen d2 check, because I need my queen at a good position. I gave a check, another check. The point of this, all these checks, was that I don't want him to push the pawn forward and I want to pin the pawn. So I'm playing very precisely. Okay, so he played king f1, and now only I brought my knight in the game. Now I'm threatening this thing. At any moment, if he plays king to e2, means for example, when I was giving the checks earlier also, if he plays king e2 at any position after king to f1, then I don't need to stop the pawn push. I can simply play knight e6, and I'm threatening knight f4 check, and it is almost going to be a checkmate with the way I showed you already. Queen d2 and queen g2 is going to be a checkmate. So he played king f2. He did not come on e2 square, and after this I pinned the pawn, and then I brought the knight in the game. So he gave me a check, another check, and suddenly, unexpectedly, you can say, 40 moves also completed, and we both were having more than half an hour, 40 minutes or something, and I was having for like almost 45 something minutes, because I was having more than 15 minutes. He gave me a check, and I did not understand why did he give me a check. He just finished off the game, because my knight is going to stop both the pawns, and all I need to bring my king in the game, and that's all. But one variation was there which was important for me to calculate before playing this variation was b7. What to do after bishop pawn to b7? The thing which I thought about was, I'll give a check, king f2, then again I can give a check. If he goes behind in the position, queen d3 is a check, and if he comes here, then knight f4 can be played. And I was kind of confident that this position should be winning. All he can do is, like, he can sacrifice the queen anywhere. Means he can sacrifice the queen, and then he can try to give me some checks, but it's not going to work out, because even if it comes knight e6 and knight c5, it will stop the pawn, and I have one extra pawn on the king side. So even if I give up my knight for this pawn on a file, I'll be getting at least one pawn and should be winning for me. So that is what I was thinking, like he might play, but he stopped all those ideas about knight and that, and he just simply gave this check on b7, and his thought was like he will be able to queen the pawn. So he played a4, I played king f7, a5, king e6, and here he did not see knight a6, I think, or maybe he saw, but it was already hopeless position. The point is, I cannot capture the pawn. If I capture the pawn will just simply queen in this position. I cannot stop it. So this square is a very bad square for the knight, remember. And if your opponent's pawn can reach the 6th rank, the knight cannot stop the pawn. Very important tip you should remember. So knight a6 was played, stopping all the pawns, and now he played king e2. I just simply brought the king up. I don't want him to come here. Miss, anybody will go for king c7 and capture this pawn, but I was like, why should I even allow him to bring the king up? So I don't want to struggle. So I just stopped his king, because the pawns are not going to go anywhere. Here he played g4, I played king b4, he played this move, I played g5, and after this he simply just resigned, because even if he plays king e3 in this position, I'm going to play this. If he comes back, then I'll play king b6, and now I will capture it, because I'm just you can say pawn up, or I can even play here again. I can play king b5, I think so, and capture this pawn, because this pawn is anyhow stuck. If he plays this, king b4 is just going to come forward. I don't need to think about my knight and the pawn endgame is just winning for me. So he just resigned. So that was a very crucial game, I will say, very tough game. I hope you enjoyed the analysis. It was a very long game, and let's see what happens tomorrow in the last round. Next tournament is also coming up. All the games are every single day, so no time to rest. I need to keep fighting. Okay, thank you. Bye bye, take care.